Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, Peacemakers gaming light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, Peacemakers gaming life so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. In this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here again this afternoon with the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series powered by HCK Beagles, Ridge Powersports, KR Gutters, and all of our other very amazing sponsors here this afternoon as we get ready to rock and roll from the beautiful Talladega Super Speedway. Talladega, the home here of the HCK Beagles this afternoon. As practice has come to a close, drivers are hopping out onto the racetrack here. A quick qualifying session where they're going to look to try to lay down their fastest lap times and see if they can set themselves up for a great start here this afternoon. Now, Talladega being such a big speedway, being a big racetrack with so much drafting and help and everything else, you don't really have to rely on qualifying here. It's not a absolutely must-have of a racetrack to qualify at the front of the field, but it's always good when you can start out in front and kind of navigate towards the front of the field and try to control this race from the front of the field, where we're going to see a lot of drivers trying that. There's going to be a lot of drivers that are going to want to try to stay out in front, try to maybe stay in front of everybody else and avoid any big accidents that may happen back there behind them, where we're going to see other drivers that may tend to try to sit back a little bit. They may want to sit back, they may want to relax just ever so slightly, trying to let the race come to them, survive until the end of this race, and then make their moves towards the front of the field. And that is the key right there. It's surviving. We always talk about the big one. When's it going to happen? Where's it going to strike? Who is going to get involved in that big wreck? Because we always see it when we come to these super speedway style of racetracks. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see who's going to be able to keep themselves at the front of the field, out of trouble, and keeping themselves there at the front of the field or at the back of the pack and trying to avoid any big calamities there on the speedway. Right now, quickest here in qualifying is this 16 truck. It is Nick Gardner. Gardner currently quickest here in qualifying. Brett Summers there in second. Nathan Nixon currently third fastest as he gets that 33 ride. Stop there on the racetrack is Michael Madden still rolling out there. Currently fourth fastest with Kevin Winker in that Muleburger Custom Homes W Energy Sonic Graphic Designs number 42 ride. Currently rounding out our top 5. Dingle Dow, Nathan Ostrowiski, Robert Blair, Frank Ranger Jr., Ryan Peterson rounding out our top 10. Then we see Jonathan Herbert and the number 13, Kyle Van Tassel, a pair of the Rage Powersports. KR Gutters rides there in the 11th and 12th position. Jason LePan going to jump up into position number 13 here in that Michaels Warrior Project number 20 ride. Is Jason LePan already saying that he thinks he's going to be the one picking up the win here this afternoon. He thinks LePan's going to pick up the win. You heard it here first. We did hear it first over there on the YouTube stream as Richard Bradshaw says, Richard Bradshaw in the house. Let's go, Richard. Let's go, baby. Richard says, let's go, LePan. Cheered on Jason here this afternoon as Jason still 13th fastest. So we get to see Jeremy Lucy, Brandon Deming, Gregory Turner, Chris Kilbert lay down a lap time. Brian Chu yet to drop a lap, as well as we do see Jacob Grube, the other Michaels Warrior Project ride. He'll jump out there. He's going to slide in front of his teammate and take that 13th spot. We do see Neil Lapidus. Good to see Neil out there on the speedway. That OSOCOutdoors.com number 26 ride. He rolls out there onto the speedway looking to lay down a lap before qualifying comes to a close. Same with that number 57, the HendrickCars.com ride. That is Nicholas Snyder in that 57 machine looking for another good run here this afternoon. Is my boy Brian coming in showing the love. What's good, dude guy? How are you, brother? Dude guy coming in showing the love, smashing the like over there on the Facebook broadcast. How are you, dude? How are you tonight? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon. As these drivers get ready to rumble, they get ready to duke it out here once again. We do see Jacob Group. He's going to slide up a couple extra spots here. He'll jump into the 8th position as Nicholas Snyder jumps into position number 6 here in qualifying. So Snyder now up inside the top 5, and up into second goes Jason LePan. LePan with a great second lap, and he quickly jumps into that second spot here in qualifying. As right now, between the top driver, the number 1 position here in qualifying, Nick Gardner, and our 8th place driver, Jacob Grube, there is 5/100ths of a second. 5/100ths of a second here between first to 8th. That just shows you the speed and how close these drivers are out there on the speedway and their lap times, and that's quite impressive. I'm not going to lie. Even if you go back to 9th with Daniel Dow running a 55.08, he is only 7/100ths off of our pole sitter as of right now. So that's some pretty tight racing. When you look inside the top 10, and they're a 10th of a second basically from 10th to 1st, that is mad impressive, man. And we're going to see these guys running nose to tail using that draft. They're going to be glued to each other's bumpers here all afternoon, and we're going to be seeing some close, tight racing. 2 wide, 3 wide. Hey, we may even see a little 4 wide out there on the racetrack, and that's normally where we see drivers running into those issues and potentially having some of those problems where we start to see the big ones form out there at Talladega Super Speedway. As we get these drivers ready to rumble, they are ready to rock and roll. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick little moment here. We're going to talk about the new season that's about to get underway, as K-Dub, my boy Kevin Winker over there on the YouTube stream, says, I love me some plate tracks. Fun fact, I've won 2 of 3 plate tracks this season. In third and other one, let's see if we can get the sweep. Yeah, let's see if you can go for the sweep. That's some mad facts right there, K-Dub. That's impressive runnings. Let's take a look here. Season number 7. about to get underway here for the HCK Beagles in just a couple months from now. So if anybody's interested in joining this series, if anyone wants to jump in on the fun, become part of the HCK Beagles family, become part of the show here on Tuesday afternoons, get a hold of me. We can help point you in the right direction. We can get you in here and get you in on the fun that is the HCK Beagles, as these guys, man, continue to put on some great seasons, a lot of great racing, great fun out there on the racetrack. So if you guys want to be a part of the series, make sure you guys get a hold of myself or one of our admins over there in the Discord channel. You can see that Discord link down low. If you need me to, I can put it into the comment section as well. And if anyone's looking to try to jump in, maybe not as a driver, but maybe as just a fan in the stands, you want to get your business out there, you want to expand your business and reach thousands and thousands of people every single season, make sure you get a hold of our admin crew, get a hold of myself, and we can point you in the right direction and get you hooked up for a series sponsor, whether or not you want to sponsor just a singular race, or if you want to sponsor, the entire season or part of a season or anything else, as we would love to have you come on board and be part of our sponsorship program here with the HCK Beagles. As we're going to get ready to rock and roll here, qualifying quickly coming to a close. We'll just leave that up there for another second. As my boy Frank Ranger, what's good, Frank? Frank coming in, showing the love. What's good, Mr. Ranger? Says, what's up? Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year's to you as well, Frank. Hopefully a wonderful, beautiful start already to your 2025, and hopefully we'll see some crazy racing here in our first race for the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series in the HCK Beagles here to start 2025. It's the first race of the season. Seems weird saying that, but it's the first race here for the HCK Beagles for 2025, and it's going to be a ton of fun. No better place to get it started than here at Talladega Super Speedway. As we'll get ready to set these drivers loose, we'll get ready to let them jump out there and battle on the racetrack for a wonderful afternoon of back and forth battling here at Talladega, as we'll get ready to go through our starting grid. Starting in the pole position in the number 16. That is the Napa Auto Parts Uni First, number 16 of Nick Gardner. To his outside in the Michaels Warrior Project, number 20 ride, that is Jason LePan. Starting in position number 3 in the Boston Web Marketing number 7 ride, is the Dialed In Racing Machine, the 7 of Brett Summers. To his outside in the Vestas Anything EC, the Sparkle and Shine Detailing number 33 ride, that is Nathan Nixon. Starting in position number 5, his teammate in the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC machine, that is the 15 of Michael Madden. To his outside in the HendrickCars.com, the Valvoline machine, that is the 57 of Nicholas Snyder. And starting inside of row number 4, the Muleburger Custom Home Sonic 1 Graphic Designs, that beautiful number 42, it's K-Dub himself, Kevin Winker, starting there in 7th. To his outside, the number 18, that's another one of our Michaels Warrior Project, that is our series sponsor, trucks out there on the racetrack, that is Jacob Grube, who will start there in the 8th position. Starting inside of row number 5 here on the racetrack, the number 2, it's another Sparkle and Shine Anything EC Toyota, that is the 2 ride of Daniel Dow. To his outside is the OSAKOutdoors.com, the One Shot One Kill number 26, the OSAK Outdoors ride, that is Neil Lapidus, rounding out our top 10 to start this afternoon. Starting in the 11th position is the Gas 41 ride. That is Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. Looks like Ostrowiecki is actually going to take a EOL, and he will start at the back of the pack here this afternoon. So moving that inside lane forward just ever so slightly. I do believe it's going to move the Reach Powersports KR Gutters number 13 rider Kyle Van Tassel into the 11th position. He will have the 75 ride, his teammate there, the Ridge Powersports ride, the 75 of Robert Blair to his outside. To his back bumper will be another one of his teammates, the 469 ride, that is the Ridge Powersports HCK Beagles KR Gutters ride of Ryan Peterson. To his outside in the RCC, the Ranger Creative Concepts number 17 ride. That is Frank Ranger Jr. there in that beautiful looking ride in position number 14 with Chris Gilbert there in the 15th position. The Jenks.com number 45 will start there in 15th. To his outside, the 87, the Ridge Powersports HCK Beagles, the KR Gunners ride. That is the 87 of Jonathan Herbert. Starting in position number 7, the DSR Electric number 51. It's Brian Chu, who will start there in 17th. To his outside in the Ghost Energy 77, it's Brandon Deming. Starting back in that 19th position will be Nathaniel Ostrowiecki in the Gas 41. Right into his outside will be the Ridge Powersports 76 of Jeremy Lucy. Our 20 drivers ready to rock and roll here this afternoon as my boy Curtis Turriff, KT coming in, setting it off here in this one. Curtis Mother Fluffin Turriff coming in with the 1,000-star dono, absolutely mother fluffing insane. Curtis coming in, setting it off here as we get ready to go green flag racing here from Talladega Super Speedway. 80 laps on the docket here as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here in 2025 with the HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here for our 5th playoff race of the season. As this season quickly coming to a close, is the 16 of Nick Gardner out in front. Nick continuing to lead the way down the back straightaway, but here comes a big shove as here comes the Anything EC, the beautiful what is their team name? I'm trying to draw a blank here. I'm drawing a bit of a blank here. The Revved Racing Teammates. That's the name I was looking for. The Revved Racing Teammates all hooked up here in that outside lane. They are going to try to take that race lead away as you see the 42 of Kevin Winker. K-Dub quickly jumps down to the inside, blocking the 16 of Mr. Nick Gardner. So Gardner really can't go anywhere, cannot lead that lap. It's out in front. It is K-Dub, Kevin Winker. Winker started all the way back in that 7th position, made some quick early moves, and he can already see that he's out in front leading the way here of this race. He talked about it before this race, how he was one of those drivers that has had some very, very good luck here on the super speedways here this year with the HCK Beagles, and he's looking to continue that on as you see these drivers continue to shuffle around, continue to make moves. They're 3 wide back there, about 4 rows back of our race leader as the 7 rider Brett Summers. He sees that these guys, man, they are absolutely racing a little too fast, a little too furious for him early on in this race, where he does not want to get the damage. He does not want to have an early night here at the speedway, so he's going to pull back. He's going to let them go by, and he's going to let them kind of duke it out and maybe see if he can try to save that car. You see a lot of these other drivers deeper in the field. They're on the same game plan, the same path here in this one, trying to save that equipment, trying to make sure that if they see that big crash, if they see a big one happen, that they will, be able to have time enough for that they can get onto the binders, they can get out of the way, they can avoid getting collected here in a big wreck to start this race. As you can see, these moves continuing to bounce around, man. These guys are not holding back early in this race. As Dangle down low, he's looking for the race lead. Nick Gardner still right there, very much in the mix, as he's now got the 26 of Neil Lapidus. Lapidus right there on his back bumper. Neil looking to have himself a great day here at the speedway, and he is right there looking to try to keep on working his way towards the front of the field. As Dangle down all the way from 9th now up into the front of the pack here is able to lead that lap as Neil Lapidus out in front. Michael Madden back there in position number 6. As you see Brent Summers there in 7th, Jonathan Herbert right there, as well as you do see that 7 rider Brent Summers starting to get back into the action here. Looks like he's found some of that draft, and he's decided that he wants to be a part of the fun here at the front of the field. As deeper in the field, you do see these drivers hanging back ever so slightly. The 20 rider of Jason LePan, who went from outside the front row, now sitting back at about the 14th position. as that 51 rider. Brian Chutu is outside the 77 of Brandon Demang. You see Nicholas Snyder, Jacob Grew back here as well. They're both down double digits here early in this race, sliding backwards, but it's all part of that strategy, trying to keep your car in good positioning and out of trouble here in this race and having something left later on. It's all about survival here at Talladega Super Speedway. Now, that's not to say we may not see a caution flag. We may not see any drivers run into issues. There may not be a big one, and it could set them back quite a bit, especially if they start to lose that draft. And one driver that has lost that draft is the number 41 of Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. Now, Ostrowiecki unfortunately had to do a pass-through penalty for that 41 ride, and it's one of the worst tracks, unfortunately, one of the worst tracks here in the series to have that pass-through penalty at. The 41 ride having to come down pit side all by himself. You see him now out there on the racetrack. He is all by himself. There's no help. There's no pushing. There's no shoving. There's no draft here for the 41 ride to try to find any speed, to find that gear, and to try to join any of the fighting at the front of the field. As he's rolling back here by himself, he's getting a lot of air onto the front of that 41 ride. He's getting no pushing to the back bumper, and that's just making him slower and slower and slower out there on the speedway. We'll take a look at the 41 ride and see what the lap times are looking like here as he crosses the line. He ran a 55-second lap time right there just by his lonesome. So a 55-second lap. Our race leaders are running in the 51-second bracket. So they are running virtually about, they're running about 4, almost 5 seconds faster than this 41 out there on the speedway. So unfortunately for Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, as we don't see any caution flags or anything else anytime soon, he's going to be at risk of becoming that first driver to go a lap down here this afternoon. But good news is that he may be the only driver a lap down early in this race, where he may be in position for that free pass. But he's going to need a caution flag now, or as he's the only driver a lap down, he will need that caution flag to come out in a quick hurry, and he may get one as they're still racing here at the front of the field, door to door, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows deep here at Talladega Super Speedway. Daniel Dow continuing to try to lead the way. You see that 16 and Nick Gardner still battling here to the outside lane, as down low it's all the Rev Racing rides right there. You see Daniel Dow, you see Nathan Nixon right there. Notice the tail, they got K-Dub, Kevin Winker in there with them in that 15 ride of Mr. Michael Madden there as well, all rolling that inside lane, all not giving an inch down there and working together as a team. And up on the high side, you see Nick Gardner, Neil Lapidus, the 7 of Brett Summers, all right there tight together, and you're starting to see some of the other drivers get lined up or wanting to get lined up here with their teammates. I'm amazed we haven't seen a lot of these Ridge Powersports KR Gutters rides really work together and just trying to control this race. There's enough of them out there that I think if they get nose to tail on the speedway, they could probably have a good, 5, 6, 7 cars kind of all right together and just kind of use that to their advantage here through this race. Is one of our other big teams in the series, where a lot of these other teams are only running, 1, 2, maybe 3 different drivers as teammates out there, where the Rev Racing guys and the KR Gunners, HCK Beagles, Ridge Powersports team has a lot of drivers in their stable there, so they could really work together and use that to their advantage. As you do see down the back straightaway there, you got a good look at that 41 ride of Nathaniel Ostrowiecki and how close he is to potentially going a lap down here early in this race, as he's going through the tri-oval right now just past that Geico restart zone. Here he is down across the line, and right here behind him you see our main pack, our race leaders coming up and catching him in a quick hurry. Now they're going to catch him with an enormous extra amount of speed compared to that 41 ride, so they got to be planning right now where they're going to go and how they're going to navigate getting around this 41 ride, and hoping that they can meet him either on a straightaway like this backstretch, or hopefully on the front straightaway where it's a little bit flatter, it's a little bit easier easier to make some moves in. If he throws a big block or tries to slide in front of somebody, then it's not going to really get that car or truck, completely unstable through the corners, as he's just going to move right up and out of the way there. A good call. He noticed that they were catching him in a quick hurry there through 3 and 4 in front of Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, jumping up to the high side there, letting these guys go by. Now what he's going to try to do is slide in behind them and stay in that draft here as quickly as possible. Does not want to give up that draft and go potentially another lap down, losing the draft here in this race. Now he doesn't have to make another pit stop until everyone else does, so hopefully he can try to stay that 1 lap down here throughout the afternoon and see if he can use that, maybe a caution flag, to put himself back on the lead lap and back into the battle here at Talladega Super Speedway. As Daniel Dow continues to lead the way, we still see them 2 wide here throughout the field. Everybody still rolling out there door to door with their counterparts on the racetrack. We do see that inside lane start to make some moves. Here goes K-Dub, Kevin Winker. He's going to jump up to the outside lane. He's going to throw the big block onto the 16 ride of Nick Gardner. That's going to keep Gardner back there in position number 3. Down across the line is Kevin Winker to the point here once again. K-Dub out in front, leading the way here again this afternoon, as you see that Osaka Outdoors number 26 rider Neil Lappin is continuing to push right to the back bumper here of Nick Gardner. Now when you start to run it in a line like this a little too much, maybe some tape on the front nose or anything else, maybe starting to make your trunk overheat a little bit. So we're going to see these drivers trying to poke their noses around the drivers, especially through these corners, looking to try to get a big dump of air onto the front of their rides, trying to bring that temperature back down, as you don't want to be pushing too heavily for too long, or else it may unfortunately blow up that motor. So you got to be very careful on your water temperatures and how the car is handling out there on the speedway, and making sure that you're not pushing too much. You do see Kevin Winker glued to the back bumper of that 16 and Nick Gardner. He has not stopped pushing here since Gardner jumped down in front of him, and Gardner's been able to hang it on right there and just keep that wheel pretty out there on the speedway. There's some great racing action as Brandon Noah says, "Let's go Winker Nation," cheered on K-Dub here this afternoon. Janelle says, "Let's go Team HP Motorsports." Albert Anderson, what's good, Albert? Albert coming in, showing the love as well, says hashtag Winker Nation. All the Winker Nation tuning in and cheering on K-Dub here this afternoon as Kevin Winker sitting there in that second spot, sitting pretty right now. He talked to us beforehand. He talked about how he loves the plate tracks, and for a fun fact, here on the series, he's won 2 of the 3 plate tracks this season with the HCK Beagles, and he came 3rd in the one he didn't win, so he's looking for pretty much a clean sweep of these plate tracks here this year. If he can somehow pull off another solid finish, maybe another win, going 3 for 4 in wins and an average finish of like 1.2, 1.3 is absolutely insane for a driver to have that kind of consistency at a plate track, a racetrack that's usually so unpredictable, where you just don't know when something big is going to happen, where you're going to run into issues, and how quickly your night can go from good to bad here at Talladega Super Speedway. So it'll be interesting to see if K-Dub can hang on to it here this afternoon. And we know K-Dub, he's no longer in our playoffs here. He unfortunately missed the second round of the playoffs by, I do believe, 2 points, and unfortunately not part of our round of 10. So he's got nothing to lose. I mean, maybe trying to help one of his playoff teammates into the next round, maybe try to help them out, but maybe just trying to go out there trophy hunting for the 42 ride, trying to finish this season off strong and see if he can pick up a few more wins, and maybe try to help his teammates out here and there with their championship hunt, as unfortunately we're already down to 10 drivers here in our championship battle. We went from 20 down to 10 drivers. We saw last week, or well, a few weeks ago in our final race for the HCK Beagles, the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series back in 2024. that last race that we ran was the first race of the second round. This is now our second race of the second round of the playoffs, so I'm not 100% sure on where everyone's standings are, how they're looking, but this is definitely going to be one that a lot of those competitors had circled on their map, as they know that this is such a hit or miss racetrack. It's such a wild card where you can't really predict what may happen to you out there on the racetrack, as we've seen it time and time again, whether it's at the back of the pack or the front of the pack. Just one wrong move, one wrong bump to the back bumper of the car in front of you, and that can send them around and take out a lot of drivers in a quick hurry, and have a ton of people down behind pit wall working, trying to repair their race trucks and trying to get back out there to salvage as much as they can on the day. But unfortunately, when you get tied up in those big wrecks and your trucks are destroyed and you're down pit side and you lose 5, 6, 7 laps or even more than that, you know that your night is virtually over. To be able to gain that many laps back, especially with other drivers that may be a lap down in front of you, it's virtually impossible. So it's going to be a very hit or miss for a lot of these guys. But right now, things are pretty pretty sturdy here. Too wide. We haven't really seen any big moves coming out of these drivers the last little while. We haven't really seen anyone try to force the issue going pretty wide again or anything else. So it looks like these guys are kind of getting settled back in. They're back into that rhythm here that they've been looking for throughout that practice session, throughout qualifying, and now throughout this race, having everybody bound right together. It kind of takes a little bit to get your feet back into it, to get your mind locked back into the racing that we see here with the HCK Beagles, and making sure that you don't make those mistakes, making sure that you're trying to keep your truck in the right direction here, as you do see that 7 ride of Brent Summers all over the back bumper here at Neil Lapidus. I'm glad to see Neil out there on the racetrack. He's had some tough breaks. He's missed some races here this year, but he's had some really good runs in that 26 ride. But having him out there making the start here this afternoon, and quickly having that 26, the Osaka Outdoors ride right there at the front of the pack, and continuing to try to battle his way up to the front of the field and looking for what could be some of his first laps led here in 2025. So it's cool to see Neil Lapidus up there battling at the front of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor here. It's absolutely free to do. Helps us out a ton here on the broadcast. Whether you're watching over on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you guys hit that like button on the broadcast and drop a couple comments. Every single like and every single comment, share, helps push the stream out to more and more people. Share it out to your Facebook, share it out to your Discord channels or anything else, and help bring in more and more viewers and more potential drivers here for the HCK Beagles, as we continue to always look to expand and bring more and more amazing drivers in to the action here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series. And we got a brand new season starting up here in a couple months. So as this series kind of comes to a close, we'll have a few weeks for recruitment races and for some fun runs and everything else before the next season gets underway. And if you guys want to be a part of the HCK Beagles, let me know. We can get you the Discord, we can get you hooked up and get you in on the action as a driver, as a spotter, or as a fan in the stands. Or if you want, you can even become part of our amazing partnership program and become part of our sponsorship program as well here with the HCK Beagles, and have your logos displayed on screen, have your business or your group or anything else shared to so many people here on Peacemaker Gaming, and a part of the HCK Beagles family, and continue to see that growth from all the viewership that we get here on Peacemaker Gaming and the Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series here for season number 7. Is out in front. The 16 ride of Nick Gardner continues to lead the way here. Gardner out in front. Once he kind of jumped down in front of that 42 of Kevin Winker, they have been locked together and running right there, nose to tail together for a lot of laps here. The outside lane has had multiple different drivers kind of get up there and into that third area, that third truck in line, and trying to help push that 7 ride of Brent Summers. Summers has been holding strong though, just on the back bumper, and Lapidus has been doing doing a great job taking those bumps and pushes, keeping that 26 right pointed in the right direction, and now they're trying to get that outside lane a little bit more organized, a little bit tighter together where they may be able to jump up and battle and contend here for that race lead, but things are going to get pretty broken up here as here you go. Green flag pit stops. Here comes all the Rev Racing rides down pit road. Here comes the number 2 of Daniel down, the number 33 of Nathan Nixon, Michael Madden, and K-Dub Kevin Winker all coming down together here. So all the Rev Racing guys, they're going to come down pit road at the same time. It doesn't look like anyone's really getting tires, but they're getting a lot of fuel stuff back into these race trucks, as I do believe we're right around that marker, right around that area where these guys can't go much farther here on a tank of fuel. So they're down there, they're making sure that their trucks are absolutely topped off. They're ready to roll back out there onto the speedway and see if they can use this pit strategy to their advantage, coming down as a 4-truck team. Now they want to get tied together here in a quick hurry. They do not want to be huge separations between them. They want to make sure that they can regain and have some of this draft back together and use that to their advantage, as our race leaders, 26 right, Neil Lapidus out in front, continue to lead the way. They're going down through, I believe this is corner number 1 and 2 right now, so in a quick hurry, they're going to be rolling up to the back bumper here of those Rev Racing drivers if they're not lined up together, as you do see them down the back straightaway starting to get lined up now back here in the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th positions. They want to make sure that they can try to stay on the lead lap and keep all those lead lap drivers back there behind them and see if they can try to leapfrog them when they come down pit road. As Neil Lapidus is out in front leading the way, it's good to see Neil out in front, as here comes that number 26 and a bunch of more drivers headed down pit road. Looks like a big group will come down pit side, but contact's made. Look out, the 16 rider Nick Garner, he gets tied up in that one. Nick Garner almost going completely around right there. Luckily enough, he's able to save that truck and keep it rolling here, but hopefully not too much damage. Just him in the 51. You see this 51 Ryan getting in with a big head of steam. That's unfortunate break for Brian Chu, as Chu comes in a whole head of steam here, gets into the back bumper of the 26, but then flips that 16 right. They're both going to get sideways. You see the 51 completely stopped there on the pit entry. Let's get that truck rolling once again. Luckily enough, he does. Hopefully no pass-through penalties. Hopefully no speeding penalties for any of those drivers that were headed down pit side, as that would definitely be very unfortunate for them, as we do see Neil Lapidus now running into issues here on pit road as well. Neil rolling back out onto the racetrack here. Looks like he's trying to go through the gear, spins the tires, and he gets clipped right there. The tires get spun. He goes around. This is a tough break here for the 26. He gets the truck rolling as, oh, baby, that was close right there. Caution flag just coming out there for the 26 of Neil Lapidus, as he was parked on the middle of the racetrack and not down on the apron. And our race leaders, it was actually the Rev Racing crew that were passing through right here. This gets very close. They were so close to, unfortunately, a big pile up here down through the trioval and across the start finish line. As you see them go down across the line, the 26 right will appear here on the left. There he is parked on the racetrack, and look at these guys just squeezing through. A little contact there for Michael Madden into the outside wall, but boy, oh boy, it doesn't get any closer than this. Ooh, baby. That is not a spot you want to be. If you're trying to roll that outside groove and you're trying to use this to your advantage, that's definitely not what you want to see right there. This is definitely way too close for comfort for all these drivers. Let's take a look here as Michael Madden and these guys, they come around the trioval. You see Lapidus there in front of them up on the high side of the broadcast here. He's trying to turn this truck around, so he starts to spin it around here. He goes up into the next lane, and you see everyone trying to avoid him, trying to get out of the way right there. That's how close it was, man. That was just a couple inches off of being disaster here for the entire Rev Racing crew. Ooh, baby, that was way too close for these guys' comfort, man. That was wild, and luckily enough, everyone able to stay out of it, keep their trucks in one shape, and be able to keep on rolling here on the speedway. As Whew, that's going to mix things up quite a bit as we'll get our first caution flag, and we'll get ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to drive here once again and see what these guys can do for another restart here this afternoon, as we'll get a quick word in from one of our sponsors over at beautiful Rock Solid. No, it is the Ranger Creative Concepts number 17 truck of Frank Ranger. We're going to get ready. Let's see if we got that.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
Alrighty, give it up there for our amazing sponsors over at the Ranger Creative Concepts as these drivers get ready to rumble here once again. We're already 26 laps down this time by the start-finish line, so we should see the green flag come back out with about 27 laps into this race. Now, we saw these drivers make it about 22, 23, maybe even 24 laps there before coming down pit side and making those first green flag pit stops here on the afternoon. So we're probably going to see these guys have to come back down pit road roughly around lap number 50, which is very questionable area here. This caution flag really making things very, very different, with certain drivers making additional pit stops and trying to save fuel here under power behind the pace car right now, seeing if they can try to save that extra little bit of fuel here during this caution flag. Now, we have seen some drivers come down pit road on lap 25, but during the yellow, they're probably not using a whole lot of fuel out there on the racetrack. But you look back at drivers like Nick Gardner here. Gardner came back down pit road on lap 26. Same with Brian Chu. So they got the most fuel than everybody else out there on the racetrack. Now, that could help them. It could mean not a lot out here on the speedway, but what they're trying to do is trying to make this potentially a 3 pit stop race, where other drivers may make this a 4 pit stop race here. It could get very, very close. It could get very interesting here if somebody can save that, 24 laps, maybe, extend that a little bit more, 26, 27. Maybe it brings into question that they only have to make one more pit stop here this afternoon, and that could really work to their advantage, not having to come back down pit side here this afternoon and trying to be an entire lap potentially in front of everybody else late in this race, biting caution flags. So it's definitely a bold strategy. It's definitely going to be very, very tight on the calculators, but maybe it works out for somebody. Maybe somebody makes that big swing, tries to go for it. Some drivers that are no longer in the playoffs, there's no high risk but high reward if you can pull something like that off, and I think drivers are potentially going to be trying to use some of that strategy to their advantage and see if they can make it there and see if they can make something happen, as we do go back to green flag racing as Brent Summers quickly back onto the loud pedal as Tower Operator coming in showing the love. How are ya? Mr. Muleberger coming in showing the love, says hashtag Winker Nation, cheering on Winker Nation as always. Is that Muleberger Custom Homes, number 42, right? Kevin Winker scored back in the 9th position right now, but I know him and all of his beautiful Raptor Racing teammates are going to be trying to work their way quickly back to the front of the field. As you do see Brett Summers, he gets split 3-1 right there. No help to his back bumper, and he's going to slide back quite quickly, but now gets a little draft help here as the 20 rider Jason LePan jumps up to the outside lane as well, looking to see if he can try to pick up that 7 ride and keep him right there with them in that outside groove as they battle towards the front of the field. It is Nick Snyder, though, who's right there as well. So Snyder, who sat back at the rear of the field throughout that first portion of this feature event, now at the front of the field and battling for the race lead with Nathan Nixon. As Nixon and Snyder door to door here at the front of the pack. He's got Daniel Dow right there, same with the 77 to Brandon Deming. Deming up there in that 4th position. K-Dub now working the outside groove. He'll slide into position number 5 as here you go, the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC rides. Some more of those revved racing teammates working together there to leave that 57 and Nicholas Snyder high and dry, and he quickly slides back into position number 7, and quickly after even bringing out that caution flag, the number 26 ride Neil Lapidus right back into the thick of things here. Lapidus making some moves. He's been looking very fast all afternoon. Gets a big bump right there from the 76 ride of Jeremy Lucy. Luckily enough, able to catch it, keep that truck pointed in the right direction as he works down low underneath that 33. He's going to slide into that 3rd spot on the racetrack. So a big move right there for Neil Lapidus. Now he's going to make another big one. Oh, look out! Oh my gosh! I don't know how Neil Lapidus just saved that truck as he was sideways out of quarter number 2, and somehow or another he keeps that truck from going around or at least losing a ton of momentum. Let's see if we get another look at this one as Neil, watch this truck. He's going to see a lane right here. He jumps up to the outside of the 33 ride, looking to see if he can try to continue his march towards the front of the field, but as he comes up the racetrack, the rear end just kind of fades out around on him. Unfortunately, that truck just super sideways slides down across the nose there with Jeremy Lucy. Luckily enough, Lucy did not get any contact right there as well, as he was almost going to get taken out right there. As you watch this 26, there's the rear end, kicks out sideways, nowhere to go for the 33. He's got to roll out of the throttle. Same with that 42. You see the fire coming out of their tailpipes as they're letting off that throttle as Neil Lapidus slides back down in front of that 76. Still trying to catch it, finally gets this truck under control and gets on rolling here once again. Let's see if we can play this back again and jump right on board with that 26 as the OSOC Outdoors number 26 with the I'm going to call that the Mighty Wipes a moment of the afternoon here. Let's take a look here at the 26 on board. Makes the big move up the racetrack, and watch the hands. Woo, there goes that rear end. Somehow able to counter steer, not make any mistakes, not make any contact there with anyone else. Continues to make moves here as he keeps his foot in the throttle and down the back straightaway. Continues to look to the outside of that 15 of Michael Madden. Some absolutely miraculous moves there for Neil Lapidus here in this race. As you do see K-Dub, Kevin Winker, he's going to jump back in front, and look who's right there with him, that 16 of Nick Gardner. Gardner right there as well, now back up inside the top 5. Brian Chu there as well as the 51, the DSR Electric number 51 machine of Brian Chu, now into the battle here as well as Neil Lapidus right there in the 77 of Brandon Deming. Now I do know that Brandon Deming, Neil Lapidus, and that 51 of Brian Chu, they've been working together here for a lot of this season. And let me see if they're still in the same Discord right now and see if they're trying to work together out there on the racetrack, and they are. So Neil Lapidus, Brandon Deming, and Brian Chu, all part of the Langley Lapidus racing team here, and they are working together. They are all up there inside the top 10. You do see Neil and Brandon right there, nose to tail on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see if they got a little something under the hood here for late in this race, see if they can make something happen. They've also been working just a little bit with the Michael Warrior Project rides as well of Jason LePan and Jacob Grube as well, as we do see LePan and Grube still deeper in the field here, still trying to play it safe. Same with Nicholas Snyder. Snyder quickly jumped back here into that 16th position. Chris Gilbert right there as well. So these drivers trying to play it a little safe out there on the racetrack, trying to keep themselves really out of trouble, trying to keep themselves far enough back where if the big one happens that they can stay clear of it and have a truck for late in this race. And you can never really go wrong too often with this strategy of just hanging out deeper in the field and letting everyone else maybe weed out the field a little bit and having some more room late in the race, or just waiting to make your moves late in the race and see if you can get to the front of the field and get a dump here this afternoon. As we'll see how this strategy plays out for all these drivers deeper in the pack. Is out in front. Nathan Nixon there 3 wide as they split the 51 ride. That's going to put that 51 machine of Brian Chu right in the middle, but he's going to get picked up. Here comes his teammates. That's the beautiful OSAKOutdoors.com ride, and Neil Lapidus right back to his teammates' back bumper. Here comes that 77 ride of Brandon Deming as well. They'll stay there in that middle groove as we're now 3 wide racing here at the front of the field. 3 wide, that's usually where things get a little bit hairy, a little bit scary out there on the racetrack. You never know when a bump or a move is going to happen, where if you see somebody like where we saw Neil Lapidus get super sideways and shoot down the racetrack, that could happen in a quick hurry and take out a couple rows of drivers there on the racetrack. But you see that middle groove working well together as Neil Lapidus and Brandon Deming shove that 51 right of Brian Chu back to the front of the field, as Brian Chu will lead this lap down across the line. So Brian Chu out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. Give it up for Brian Chu, man, and this entire Neil Lapidus, Brandon Deming, Brian Chu teammates, man, they continue to get better and better and better every single week here on the season. We've seen these guys get some absolutely amazing finishes. Brian Chu oh so close to a couple checkered flags here on the season. We saw the 77 right of Brandon Deming. He's been in victory lane here before with the HCK Beagles. I do believe he may have found at least a win earlier in the season as well. I'd have to double check the stats there on that one, but we've seen a lot of these guys continue to impress, especially Neil Lapidus. As much as he's had time in behind the wheel, he's a little bit more or less experienced than a lot of these drivers out there on the racetrack. So to see him up here battling, having fun, enjoying his time once again on the simulator and being able to run up at the front of the field, man, it's always amazing to see. And hopefully we can continue to see that 26 progress and get better and better and better, season after season after season here with the HCK Beagles. And you guys can become part of the HCK Beagles Season 7 here in just a couple months. If you want to become part of this stable, if you want to be one of the drivers out here on the racetrack and battling racing, being a part of the show on our Tuesday afternoons, get a hold of me or any of our admin crew, and we can point you in the right direction. Or if you want, you can join the Discord. Let's take a look here right now at our next season. Now, some of the racetracks aren't set in stone. There could be a few things that may change, but this is our Season 7 flyer here for the HCK Beagles Truck Series. If you guys want to become part of the show, be part of the family here with the HCK Beagles, the Discord is at the bottom of that flyer. You can go, you can search that Discord and join it, or you can ask me. I can put the Discord into the comments section where you guys can join that Discord from there and become part of the HCK Beagles Season 7 here with us. As some absolutely amazing racing week after week after week, and for 22 more races in a 7th season here with the HCK Beagles is going to be an absolutely amazing show, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to be not a part of it. And being a fan of the stands is always great, but being a part of the show is even better, and you can be an extra part of that show if you would like, as well as we're always open to our sponsorship abilities here with the HCK Beagles as well. So if there's any sponsors out there wanting to jump on board and become part of the series as well, have your logo displayed in front of thousands and thousands of fans in the stands here, enjoying the HCK Beagles on a Tuesday night weekly basis here. And then get a hold of the admin group, hold of Gregory Turner or myself. I can get you put in over there to Greg and get you a part of the amazing show here on our Tuesday night series. as we get ready to keep on seeing these drivers rocking and rolling here down across the line. We will see lap 39 come to a close here in lap number 40 up and onto the board. So we're going to be halfway through this race already here this afternoon. These drivers making quick work of the racing action here this evening. Only that one caution flag after contact and a little bit of tire spin coming out of the pits for our first set of green flag pit stops. Neil Lampard is going around right there. Luckily enough, not a huge amount of damage for any of these drivers. If we're all able to keep on battling here this afternoon, as out in front, that number 76 rider, it's actually the 75 rider, Robbie Blair out in front, leading the way now. As jumping to the outside lane goes Kevin Winker. Kane Dub gonna quickly slide back down in front of the 75 rider, but for a moment there, Bobby Blair out in front, leading this race as Kane Dub back to the point. He's got Daniel Dow right there in third. Nick Gardner working that outside groove though, trying to battle his way back to the front of the field here with the 7 of Brent Summers right there on his back bumper. As here comes Neil Lapidus, here comes the 41 ride as well. That is Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. Unfortunately here for Ostrowiecki, he is the first and only truck a lap down out there on the racetrack. So he's hoping for another caution flag that he is not a part of. If he can avoid being any part of that caution flag, could potentially get that free pass to the lucky dog, get back onto the lead lap and back in contention here this afternoon. As you can see, he's got a pretty quick truck. He's racing up here inside what would be the top 5, top 10 of the racetrack, and I'm sure he'd love to be there, especially still on the lead lap here this afternoon. As some absolutely amazing racing action and green flag pit stops will be coming up here very shortly, as we'll see these drivers once again head down pit side for their potential second green flag pit stop of the afternoon. As Nick Gardner out in front showing these drivers how to get it done, we're gonna jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming. John, if you don't like it, don't watch it, brother. That's all I gotta say. I don't even know who you are. Who are you? You see John. John, if you don't like the crap that's on the screen, get off the screen, brother. You can find a place to go. Alrighty, as we see these guys continue to battle, we will jump into our Peacemaker Gaming, crank it up as green flag pit stops just around the corner here with these amazing HCK Beagles Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series drivers. Alrighty, as we drive on board here with Nathan Nixon as he's in at the front of the field, giving up for all these drivers a beautiful crank it up section right there, giving you the sights and sounds around the beautiful Talladega Super Speedway here this afternoon. Shout out there to Mr. Nixon for having the webcam turned on for drivers continue to battle all around the racetrack. We did see those green flag pit stops come and go, and you saw how these drivers were coming down pit side. Different groups, different strategies varying for a bunch of these drivers, and we'll take a look here through our grid and where these drivers currently sit as everyone kind of getting back together here into one big group. A few drivers unfortunately not having the runs that they were hoping for there during that green flag stop, as a couple drivers getting hit with some pass-through penalties. Kevin Winker and Nathan Nixon 1 and 2 here on the Speedway. And then you see Jacob Grube dangled down right there as well inside our top 5, with Nicholas Snyder rounding out the top 5 there in that 5th position. He's got Brian Chu down to his inside there in the DSR Electric number 51 ride. Then you see Brandon Deming, Neil Lapidus, the 87 of Jonathan Herbert, scored there in the 9th position with Ryan Peterson, Jeremy Lucy, Robert Blair, and Nick Gardner. The 7 ride of Brett Summers rounding out our top 14, and this is where things get a little bit more broken up as Michael Madden hit with a pass-through penalty, speeding down pit road for the 15 ride. Unfortunately for Michael Madden, he now finds himself as the first driver 1 lap down in battling here at the front of the field, trying to stay as that first driver a lap down. Jason LePan also now scored a lap down as well, a pass-through penalty for the 20 ride as the Michaels Warrior Project number 20 rolling there as well in that main group. He's looking to try to keep on battling for that lucky dunk, as well as Frank Ranger Jr. Frank unfortunately going a lap down as well. Nathaniel Oshawiski still a lap down as well. He is still in this battle for the free pass, and unfortunately for Chris Gilbert now finds himself already a couple laps down here for the 45 right now. Gilbert unfortunately ran into a couple issues down pit side in the 45 ride. Now finds himself the only driver multiple laps down here, and he's going to need either a bunch of wave arounds or a bunch of lucky dog opportunities to potentially get himself back onto the lead lap here this afternoon as he rejoins the rear of the field here this evening. Everyone still right there together in one main pack now as the 45 ride going to try to catch that draft and stay here in this group and trying to stay as close as he can in this battle at the front of the field, even though he's now scored multiple laps down here on the racetrack. A heartbreaker right there for him, a heartbreaker for Jason LePan and Michael Madden, both having some great runs here this afternoon. Kyle Van Tassel and Frank Ranger also going a lap down now here as well, so a tough break for them, and that's going to make things even tougher for that 45 rider Chris Gilbert. And I think he knows it, as all these drivers that were in front of him, if we do see some caution flags, they either all need to be tied up in these caution flags, or potentially they're really not going to get too many opportunities to get these wave rounds, to get these lucky dogs. If we only see 2 or 3 more caution flags throughout the afternoon, then that's going to be 2 or 3 lucky dogs, and unfortunately they're all going to go to those drivers that are 1 lap down before Chris Gilbert will get one of his back here this afternoon. So he's going to need like 6 or 7 caution flags, and I pray that we don't see that many, but maybe potentially taking a wave around as everyone else comes down pit side, hoping for that quick caution flag and not having to make a green flag pit stop off schedule if everybody else could potentially help out the 45 ride, but that's a big risk. But it's a gamble that the 45 ride may have to try and make here this afternoon if he wants to try to keep on rocking and rolling. That's if we even see another caution flag. We may not see another caution flag at all here this afternoon. As we say that, we do see the 26 ride of Neil Lapidus again coming out of corner number 2, getting very loose. We saw him shoot down the racetrack onto the apron. Luckily enough, he was able to get back out and onto the speedway here and keep on rolling. Unfortunately losing a little bit of ground to the back bumper of his teammate in that 77 ride, as Brandon Ming now a few car lengths there separating those guys, and now it looks like they're about to head back down pit road. So different pit strategy here. Neil Lapidus, Brian Chu, Brandon Deming, and I do believe that is Jonathan Herbert who's going to go with them here. So a little bit of different pit strategy, coming back down pit road a little bit earlier than everybody else. Now they are 20 laps left to go, so this tank of fuel, as long as they get them absolutely filled up and they don't leave any fuel left in the canister, they want to make sure these things are absolutely topped off, that they could potentially have a good run right here. Now, obviously, they're not too far off from when they were last down pit road. We saw these drivers down pit side around lap number 46, lap 47-ish area. So really, they've only got about 10-15 laps or so on this tank of fuel, so they didn't really have to sit down there for super long to get these trucks filled with gasoline. And now that may be the big difference maker. That may have saved them 2, maybe 3 seconds of sitting in their pit stall and waiting to get that fuel tank completely filled up. For the rest of these drivers, all these other competitors, they may stay out there until they get very, very close on fuel and then come back down pit road, where they're going to get a completely full tank of fuel. They may have to sit there for that extra couple seconds. That may be the break that these drivers need to really help them out and progress them to the front of the field. But unfortunately, it was a bit of a slow stop there for Neil Lapidus. You see Lapidus and the 77 of Brandon Domingue right together, and Brian Chu and Jonathan Herbert together, but they are now separated by about 5 seconds here. I'm not sure what happened coming out of the pits, but those 4 drivers, their best chance of being able to leapfrog any of these other drivers at the front of the field and put themselves into what could be a winning position would have been coming down and together, leaving the pits locked together there, nose to tail. And unfortunately for Lapidus and the 77 ride, and for Brian Chu and Jonathan Herbert, that foursome is now broken into 2 two-somes, and they are not going to have as much of a draft or help that they need to potentially stay in front of that lead pack. As you see them rolling in behind them in a quick hurry here. They're not too far away from Lapidus. They're not too far away from Brandon Domingue and putting them back there behind them. So that strategy maybe all for naught here this afternoon. It was a good try, it was a good effort, and definitely a good idea. Unfortunately, not sure how much that's going to work out for those drivers here this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see if it can play out, or if we see a caution flag and really just throw that strategy right out the window here, as you do see K-Dub and the Michaels Warrior Project rides now at the front of the field. Jacob Grube and his teammate Jason LePan right there, nose to tail. They're out in front. Unfortunately for Jason LePan, he is a lap down, but as he sits right now, pushing his teammate, the 18, at the front of the field, he is in that free pass position. He's in that lucky dog spot, so if there was a caution flag that does get displayed, the 20 ride is in the spot to be able to get the wave around and work himself back onto the lead lap and right back into the thick of things here this afternoon. The next closest lap down driver is a couple spots back here behind him. Is Frank Ranger Jr. They're in the 17, and then the 15 ride of Michael Madden, who's right there as well. As here you go, we're going to see the Rev Racing teammates try to use some of that same strategy here. As, oh no, heartbreaker for Neil Lapidus. Neil having to come down pit side once again here. This is a heartbreaker for Neil Lapidus, the OSOCOutdoors.com, number 26, having such a great run, strong race all afternoon, and now this is going to put him a lap down here, and unfortunately nowhere close to the free pass position. As he rolls back out onto the racetrack, he's probably going to be, you know, potentially by himself and potentially at risk of going multiple laps down here this afternoon. So this is definitely not the way that Neil Lapidus wanted this to go, as we do see the Rev Racing drivers roll back out onto the racetrack here. So they were about 18 laps from their pit stop. So they were 18 laps prior to this. They came down pit side, so they still had a pretty, well, they might have had a few extra gallons of fuel in there. We'll have to wait and see how they play this one out and see how this works for them, as now we do see a lot of these other drivers headed back down pit road as well for what could be their final pit stop of the afternoon. Jacob Grube, Nicholas Snyder, Jeremy Lucy, Robert Blair, Ryan Peterson, all coming down pit road. You'll see the 13 of Kyle Van Tassel. He's right there with them down on pit road themselves, as they're going to try to work together here, see if they can try to get their tanks filled up, back out there onto the racetrack, build up that speed, and stay locked together here and stay in front of the Rev Racing rides. As you see the Rev Racing team here, they have worked themselves to the inside and trying to make the move around Brian Chu and that 87 of Jonathan Herbert. Now they came down pit road quite a few laps earlier, about 4 laps sooner than these other drivers, and now they're trying to use that to their advantage, and so far it's looked like it's paid off just ever so slightly here for them. They're able to stay right there with them, as here they go down the back straight. straightaway. They got that big head of momentum. They're trying to roll up to the rest of these drivers that have been down pit side. You look at Jacob Group, you look at Robert Blair, the 57, and Nicholas Snyder. They don't really have a whole lot of push and help right here with them, as they're going to see some big moves coming up from behind them here. These drivers going to put the hammer down, and they try to roll around him, but contact. Upside down goes Kevin Winker. Winker's on his lid. Red flag on the racetrack. Red flag out there is our second caution flag here of the afternoon, as the Rev Racing rides trying to make the move around some of the slower traffic that were trying to build up the speed from their green flag pit stops, and we see the big one potentially here this afternoon. Look at the big black smoke rolling out of the back end of that 42 rider. Kevin Winker, heavy left front, right front damage. The rear end tore apart there in the 42, the Muleburger Custom Homes machine. This is not going to be a fun ride. Trying to get this truck back around the racetrack, trying to stay on the lead lap and trying to not go a lap down, and hoping that this truck stays in one piece as he rolls all the way back around the racetrack to head down pit side and get this thing repaired, or trying to get this truck repaired. So let's jump on board here with Kevin Winker now. This truck is, oh man, it is hurting right now. You see that wheel just vibrating as the front suspension tore all apart here. The rear end heavily damaged as well. Let's take a look at this thing as he rolls down the back straightaway. You take a look at that steering wheel way off center here. He's trying to get it turned back. There you go. Look at him. Look at watch he's turning this wheel, trying to keep it from pulling to the left here. This is just showing you how damaged that left front tire really is. This wheel is at a 90-degree angle, pointed to the right, trying to keep this thing rolling in a straight line, and that is going to be a lot of work here for the crew to do this afternoon. So tough break there for K-Dub, as we'll take a look back and see what happened, how this all got started, as there was some big hits, some heavy hits here in this one. And let's take a look at it as you watch these guys coming down the back straightaway. They see the slower traffic. You look at the three drivers at the front of the field right here. The 18 of Jacob Grube, the 75 of Bobby Blair. Actually, that's the 75 of, yeah, that's Bobby Blair. The 57 of Nicholas Snyder. They're not up to speed yet. They don't have the draft. They don't have anything. They're quite a bit slower, probably running about 10 miles an hour slower than our race leaders, and that's a lot of speed in a quick hurry. Now you're going to see the Rev Racing guys. They're trying to decipher where they need to make this move. K-Dub decides to go up to the middle lane, trying to follow his teammate in the 33. They make a little bit of contact right there with the 51 of Brian Chu. I'm not sure if K-Dub just runs out of room right here, or what may happen, as they're trying to roll around these drivers. You look at the 33 of Nathan Nixon. He tries to come back down low. Not sure if he gets a shot right here from the 51 right. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he tries to work his way back down across the nose of the 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker already there. The 33 goes down and around, unfortunately tagging that right quarter panel of the 18 ride. Jacob Grube, sending him up into the outside fence. Nowhere to go for Kevin Winker as he does his best Tony Hawk impression as he's up grinding the rail here at Talladega Super Speedway, laying right on the hood there of the 87 of Jonathan Herbert. And unfortunately for Kevin Winker, his opportunity here to win this race may have just went out the window. Let's play it back here and watch this at full speed and show you how quickly things happen here at Talladega. Is right there. There's the contact, and all of a sudden, mayhem down through quarter number 3 and 4. Winker up on the wall, then upside down out of corner number 3. Luckily enough, rolls back onto all 4 tires. More contact there for his teammate in the 2 right. Heavy damage there for Jonathan Herbert. Heavy damage for Jacob Grube. Kevin Winker, the 2 and the 33, also getting some pretty significant damage there as well. But watch Bobby Blair right here. Bobby Blair somehow or another works his way just around this as the contact right in front of him. He gets down on the apron, same with that 57 of Nicholas Snyder. They're able to avoid it as chaos back there behind him, and the 51 ride of Brian Chu able to get through here as well. Chu was up on that outside lane, and shows you how close he was to getting tied up in this one. Watch that 18 ride just missing taking out the rear end of that 51, and somehow or another, Chu and a lot of these drivers are able to keep themselves out of contact right there. That was absolutely wild. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. Out in front, it is Bobby Blair, Robert Blair. At the front of the field here, Nick Gardner now scored in position number 2. Jeremy Lucy there in third with the 469. Ryan Peterson in that fourth position. Brett Summers, Brian Chu are top 6 here on the racetrack with Nathan Nixon, Nicholas Snyder, Daniel Dow, and Nathaniel Ostrowiecki rounding out our top 10 as Ostrowiecki able to get that free pass. The lucky dog back onto the lead lap here for the 41 ride. He's been battling right from the get-go of this race to get that lap back, and finally gets it here this afternoon in the 41, back onto the lead lap here and back into contention this afternoon. Jason LePan, I do believe, getting the wave around here. Same with Frank Ranger Jr., Brandon Neming, Neil Lapidus, as they are going to work themselves back onto the lead lap here this afternoon. Jacob Grube, he's got a lot of heavy damage here. He has still scored a lap down. Same with Kyle Van Tassel. Same with Kevin Winker. K-Dub still back out there on the racetrack. Good to see him still rolling out there, but now finds himself a lap down as well as Michael Madden. Chris Gilbert did get that wave around, so he's back to 1 lap down, and Jonathan Herbert scored multiple laps down here in the 87 machine. Scored back in the 20th position. So that really mixed things up here, especially at the front of the field, as we'll get ready to see that pace car make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side. We'll get ready to release these drivers once again as we get 10 more laps left to go here on this restart. Is that our final caution flag, or do we see another one here this afternoon? Was that the big one, or do we see even more drivers potentially get tied up in another big wreck here this evening? Look out as the 469 Ryan Peterson spinning the tires right there as we get back up through the gears here at Talladega Super Speedway. Only 10 more laps left to go, and out in front, leading the way, is that 75 ride of Bobby Blair. Bobby Blair leading the way here in this one, but K-Dub Kevin Winker, he's back here. He's gotten his truck repaired, and he's trying to keep himself in what could be potentially the free pass position here. As I know K-Dub, he came into this race with high hopes. He loves these plate tracks. He talked about his success here on the plate races earlier in the season, as he has won 2 of 3 here with the HCK Beagles in this 6th season. And he's looking for win number 3 out of 4 here this afternoon. But that win may have went out the window right there with that contact. He may need to try to get himself into that free pass spot out here onto the speedway and hope that we see that caution flag come out as he's the free pass competitor and potentially work himself back onto the lead lap. And even if he can work himself back onto the lead lap, he's got to find a way to try to work his way back to the front of the field here if he wants a shot at it. And time is running out in a quick hurry for that 42 machine. Down the back straight away, built up to speed with only 9 laps left to go. These drivers 2-3 wide out here as you see that 42 try to work the outside groove, try to make it so that he's able to find some room, some lanes, and maybe work himself into that free pass spot as he rolls around the number 18 of Jacob Grube. As Grube, one of those lap down drivers now as well. So Jacob Grube, unfortunately, on the outside of the transfer spot here, the free pass position looking in as K-Dub works the 3rd lane and gets around him here. So Grube will fall back into 16th. Michael Madden still a lap down here as well. Same with Kyle Van Tassel and Chris Gilbert. So we'll have to wait and see if any of those drivers can jump up and try to take Kevin Winker into that free pass position and see if they can try to come back there a lap down and maybe not in contention of winning another race here this year. As out in front, Bobby Blair continues to lead the way. Jeremy Lucy, his teammate in the Ridge Powersports, HP Powersports, the beautiful KR Gunners number 76 and 75 hooked up here this afternoon. As now you do see that 33 right of Nathan Nixon. He's going to jump up into that middle lane here right on top the nose goes of the 16 machine of Nick Gardner. Gardner's going to give him a good shove and put him right to the front of the field here. As we'll have to keep an eye on some of these other drivers trying to work their way back up into the battle, as unfortunately Neil Lapidus in the 26 ride was able to work himself back onto the lead lap, but is not in the draft right now, and he is scored back in the 14th position. No drafting help. He's looking for a caution flag in a quick hurry to put himself back into contention. The 17 rider Frank Ranger, he is very close here with that draft, trying to keep that 17 truck in contention here this afternoon. Scored back in 13th as Jason LePan trying to work his way back up towards the front here. LePan back on the lead lap right there in the 11th position. Same with Nathaniel Ostrowiecki is, oh no, the 20 ride of Jason LePan headed down pit side. He tried to use that strategy, the quick pit, to get the wave around to get back onto the lead lap, and now has to come down pit side. Oh, brother, that's a tough break right there for Jason LePan. That strategy almost working out for him. Just needed that caution flag to stay on the lead lap and get an opportunity to come down during the yellow to get fuel into this 20 machine. Same with Frank Ranger Jr. and the 45 rider Chris Gilbert, as all these drivers down pit road, they are going to be without the draft here, and unfortunately they are at risk of potentially either going a lap down again or multiple laps down again if you're that 45 ride of Chris Gilbert here this afternoon. It's Nick Gardner out in front. Gardner getting a great shove here by the 33 ride of Nathan Nixon. Now is Nixon back down to the inside lane. The 16 of Gardner will follow him right on through, leaving the middle groove. Now to the leader of the middle groove is the 7 ride, the Boston Web Marketing Machine of Brett Summers. Summers there in position number 3. Bobby Blair back there in 4th. Jeremy Lucy, Ryan Peterson all right there as well. You see Brian Chu in that 3rd lane, still trying to get that rocking and rolling, and he may get some help here, as here comes some of the beautiful looking rides of the Red Racing team that are able to somehow survive in this one. But now you do see the number, oh man, that was Kevin Winker, K-Dub again running into issues down the back straightaway. I think something underneath the hood has let go of that 42. Let's take a look back here down the back straightaway. Not sure if the engine expires or what may have happened here to the 42. Now he's pushing the 51 ride. He's been there for a little while, and yeah, you just see that smoke just start plummeting out of the back end of the 42, and unfortunately he is losing power in a quick hurry. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Kevin Winker, as I do believe his opportunity to potentially win his 3rd plate race of the year has gone out of the window here. Yeah, unfortunately, you see that truck, it's just losing RPMs here, rolling down the back straightaway. You see that throttle bouncing around here, and the RPMs just continue to fall farther and farther and farther. Unfortunately, I do believe something mechanical under the hood here for Kevin Winker, as K-Dub parked down pit side here. Unfortunately, no longer in contention here this afternoon, as we do see, I do believe, the caution flag coming back out here. So, yes, the caution flag has came back out. So, a heartbreaker right there for Kevin Winker, as he was about half a lap away from seeing that caution flag and potentially getting that free pass position. As, take a look here, looks like contact down the back straightaway again here. The 2 and the 33, or the 15 truck of Michael Madden here. They're trying to make some moves around. I believe that is the 469 of Ryan Peterson, and that's Jonathan Herbert in the 87. Already a couple laps down here for Jonathan Herbert. They're just trying to roll around Herbert. They're trying to roll around this 469 ride. Unfortunately, Michael Madden, when he comes down the racetrack, bounces off the 87, comes back down into him here, and that just gets him up and around, and do-si-do down the back straightaway. And unfortunately for the 87 machine of Jonathan Herbert, that will bring out the caution flag here, and more damage for that 87 machine. Miraculously, that truck is still able to keep on rolling after a couple big hits for him here this afternoon. And there you go, our 3rd caution flag late in this race. Only a few laps left to go, and that will bring up some NASCAR overtime here this afternoon, as K-Dub says she's done. She is done. Laugh out loud. She blown up. She done gun blued up here. K-Dub, that's a heartbreaker for you, brother, and that just shows you the testament of how quickly things can go astray here at Talladega Super Speedway. As Penny L says, go Nathan. Cheered on Nathan out there on the speedway. Bruce says boom, boom. How many booms is on the boom meter right there? Tower operator, is that 2 booms or 3 booms there for Kevin Winker? That's a boom, boom, boom right there for Kane Dub, as some big booms down the back straightaway, as Albert Anderson says, tough break, brother. You'll get him next time. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Too much pushing, laugh out loud. I was going to say, you were probably still, I don't know how much the quick repairs really repair these trucks, especially after the wreck you had beforehand. So I figured maybe cosmetically they had that repaired, maybe still some mechanical issues inside the truck there. But you were glued to the back end of that 51 ride for quite a while there, really not getting a whole lot of air onto the nose of that 42, so I'm assuming those water temperatures were just rising and rising and rising until finally she decided to blow a piston out of the bottom end or something there on that 42 ride, which is a heartbreaker here this afternoon, as I know you were looking to try to make that your 3rd plate race win this season, but unfortunately going to come up just a little bit short here today. As we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing in just a couple more moments, as the caution flag continues, drivers able to head down pit side, maybe get the fuel that they may have needed. Some drivers getting the free pass back onto the lead lap, and I do believe our free pass candidate right there was the 18 rider Jacob Groob. So Groob back onto the lead lap there. The K-Dub incident paid dividends there for the 18 machine, as that put him back into the free pass position. Also really helped out Neil Lapidus here, as well as Lapidus. He had lost that lead pack, and he was, you know, just by himself, rolling deeper in the field. No drafting help at all for that number 26 ride, as the Osaka Outdoors machine will roll back up to the back bumper of the rear of the field, and he'll get right back into the thick of things here this evening and right back into contention here in this race. So we'll have to wait and see if Neil can make some moves and try to finish off this race. He started off really, really good, led some laps, was at the front of the field battling there, and looked like he had a very, very fast truck. So after that midway point, some of those mistakes down pit road, he's rebounded from those, back on the lead lap. Let's see if he can put it all together and finish this race off for that Osaka Outdoors number 26 ride. As we get a little time here before we go back to green flag racing, we'll take a quick break and get a word in here from our sponsors over at Ranger Creative Concepts.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid.
Going on, Aaron?
Not much.
Yeah, she went kaboom.
She went kaboom. That's a tough break, brother. That's a tough break.
Just trying. I might hang out here, I guess, for the rest of the race, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, you can hang out here. Do you want me to mute myself, or do you want to listen in?
Oh, I can listen to you. That's fine.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. NASCAR Overtime with the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series, powered by HCK Beagles, KR Gutters, Ridge Powersports, the Ranger Creative Concepts, HCK Beagles are ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here. Is that our final caution flag? Do you think we see another one here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen? Or do we see this one go clean and green to the end? We're going to find out here in a quick hurry. Is down through the Geico restart zone. Quickly, the 75 ride of Bobby Blair back onto the loud pedal. Robert Blair looking to trying to put himself at the front of the field here and control this race as he'll slide down in front of Nick Gardner, taking that inside lane away from the 16. Now we see him trying to work to the outside as the 75 76 of Jeremy Lucy, trying to stay to the outside of the 16 ride, trying to block him in there, as now you do see the 75 go back up to the high side in front of his teammate here, as they get a little log jam down the back straightaway. Everyone up through the gears, starting to build up that speed as they're built. High speed right now in the corner number 3. They've built up that speed, and this is where things get very, very interesting. Drivers starting to try to make those moves, trying to make their way to the front of the field, and one of them being that 51 rider, Brian Chu. Chu in that DRS electric ride into position number 2. He is glued to the back bumper of that 16 of Nick Gardner. As you see the 33 ride, that is Nathan Nixon trying to make some moves as he jumps to the middle, but Dan slides down to the inside, just over the nose of the 7 of Brett Summers. We do see that white flag fly, so the next flag will end this race no matter what. Caution flag, it doesn't matter. We will race back to the start-finish line, and we will crown a winner here this afternoon with the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series. And from ranks to riches, from the doghouse to the penthouse here, potentially for the 41 ride, that's Nathaniel Ostrowiski. Roll that middle groove. He's getting some good shots from the KR Gutter Reach Powersports rides, as they're right there pushing that 41 down out of corner number 4 is contact. A couple drivers go around. They battle back to the start-finish line. Look at Bobby Blair on the outside lane. The Reach Powersports rides working together up into the wall, down across the line. It's Bobby Blair. Robert Blair able to get the win as they wreck across the start-finish line. Robert Blair with the last lap move to pick up the dub here at Talladega Super Speedway. Oh, baby, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what a run and what a finish. You came here for a show. Well, there you go. It doesn't get any better than that right there, as the number 75 of Bobby Blair, Robert Blair, picks up the first win here, I do believe, of his HCK Beagles career, as Bobby Blair out in front. The 75 right is going to get ready to party down in Victory Lane and burn down the house on the front straightaway, as his Rage Powersports teammates right here are going to probably join him on the front straightaway as they come home with a 1-2-3 finish. They found each other late in this race, and they make that final lap move out of corner number 4. They come home 1, 2, and 3, putting Nick Gardner back in 4th. Brian Chu there in 5th with Jason LePan, Nicholas Snyder, Jacob Grube, Nathaniel Ostrowiski, and Daniel Dow rounding out our top 10. As Bobby Blair picking up the win, Jeremy Lucy and Ryan Peterson going to join him here on the front straightaway as our 2nd and 3rd place finishers. And there you go. They're going to celebrate together on the front stretch here at Talladega Super Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all of the Team HP and all these amazing drivers here this afternoon. Put on a heck of a show, heck of a race for us, man. That was a hell of an exciting race, hell of an exciting finish there this afternoon as Bobby Blair gets the dub. Here comes Kyle Van Tassel, another one of the Rich Powersports KR Gunners rides. He's going to jump up there. He's going to celebrate with his teammates as well after a great run and great performance out of all of them here this evening. Now, I'm sure Jonathan Herbert, Kyle Van Tassel would have loved to have been right up there with them and battling for the win themselves, or potentially trying to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here this afternoon. They ran into some issues here throughout the evening, but I'm sure they're going to be very, very proud with how this one came out for each of their teammates. We'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth. K-Dub, what do you think, man? How did you like that finish?
That was a good finish there, man. Congrats to HP Motorsports. Those guys have been putting in the work in this season, so they definitely earned it. You know, teamwork obviously paid off for them. I wish I could have been up there, but got to show the happiness, you know, with other people. So congrats to all those guys for the win. I think that's their first team win, and they got to swept the podium, so can't get much more of that. So shout out to those guys.
Absolutely huge shout out to them. An amazing run, amazing performance by them, and we can't wait to see what Bobby's, what he's going to sound like, what he's going to be, celebrating here. How excited he's going to be after a win like this here this afternoon. We'll wait for those 3 to jump up into the Discord here and into our podium finishers waiting room, and we'll get them up here into the broadcast booth. As there you go, we do see Bobby already in there. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Bobby Blair. Hey Bobby, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy? Bobby, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy? All right, we'll pull Bob back in here in just a little bit. I'm sure he's probably going pee or maybe getting a beer or a shot of whiskey or something. Maybe try to calm those nerves down a little bit, as I'm sure he was pretty nervous there coming down to the line and seeing that checkered flag fly. So we'll give him a quick little break here. He jumped in there. We'll give him a couple seconds, see if he had to go pee or not, or use the bathroom. So we'll give him a little time. We'll give him a little time here. As Bruce says, shitty gas in the 42 ride of Kevin Winker. I don't know, it was Cal Norton Jr. back there behind the wall for you, maybe putting the diesel can instead of the high test into that 42 right here tonight, Kay?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's the track temp was hot, so that definitely didn't help. All night I was kind of fighting that, and when you're on that top line, it's so hard to get air to the motor because you got the wall on the outside, then you got the middle line, so it's really hard to peak left or right. Versus if you're on the bottom, you can usually peek out to the left, and it was reading like 295 for like 5 laps, and I was like, well, it's gonna blow up. And then I told my teammate Dow because it blew up, and I'm like, I'm blowing up, and he's like, he's right behind me, and he's like, who's blowing up? I said, I am. But luckily he kept it all straight, and I clutched it into the pits. But yeah, it's just product of this racing. When everybody gets so tight like that, the engine's obviously overheating, and I can't manage my temperatures, I guess, tonight. But oh well, it was a good race. So once again, congrats to the top three again tonight.
Absolutely great runs, great race there. As we'll see if we can get Bobby in here now, and it looked like he just muted himself. So I'm not sure if we'll get him in here right now or not. Oh, there we go. He's unmuted himself. Hey, Bobby, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy? Yeah, himself again here. Hey, Bobby, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy? Hmm. Hey, Bobby, you got a copy? Interesting. So we can't hear Bobby Blair. So what we're going to do is we'll keep him in here and see if he can get back into the Discord or not. But what we'll do is we'll pull in our second place finisher, as see if we can get a hold of Bobby Blair or not. We'll pull the 76. He's having mic issues. Okay. I figured he was. We'll pull the 76 right at Jeremy Lucy in right now and talk to our second place finisher here. And hopefully in that time, Bobby can get his mic working. Hey, Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Yep, I got you loud and clear.
Jeremy, man, a great run and a great drive here this afternoon, man. Take us back through this one as late in this race you're able to make some moves. You get lined up with your teammates, and all of a sudden at a corner number 4, you jump up to that outside lane right up against the wall. You guys are scrubbing it down through the tri-oval, and you push your teammate Bobby Blair down across the line to what I do believe is his first win here with the HCK Beagles.
Yeah, it was a good finish. It's typical Talladega. You never know what's gonna happen. We had our other teammate, our team captain Ryan behind us, and luckily we had our other team captain John was in the back of the pack, and he said we were clear to go high. So we went for it and we made a move, and it worked out in our favor. So it was a good finish. So.
Absolutely a great finish, a very exciting one. Watching you guys get lined up together, making those moves late in the race here is a lot of action later on the first half. Pretty calm. Things were pretty cool and collective there. We did see some good hard racing, a lot of 2 wide, a little bit of 3 wide out of the get-go, but then later on we start to see some of these caution flags fly. You guys are able to avoid majority of those, and through these green flag pit stops and everything else, the teamwork paying dividends here this afternoon as you guys are able to come home with a solid 1, 2, and 3 finish for the HP Motorsports crew.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was a good finish. We did a lot of team strategy. We pretty much most of the race we all worked together, and we all came down pit road together, and pretty much it was a fuel strategy race at the end, and it worked out in our favor. So yeah, I'd like to thank Ryan and Rich Powersports and everybody on the team. It was good.
Absolutely. Well, Jeremy, great run, great race, and congratulations here with the second place finish this afternoon. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack for race number 2 here of 2025 as you guys are off to a hot start. And so far, it is the HP Motorsports crew putting a whooping on everybody to start 2025 season.
Yep, appreciate it. Thanks.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep, you too. Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Jeremy Lucy as Jeremy comes home in position number 2. A great run and a great drive right there for the number 76 ride as we'll get ready to pull in the number 75, Bobby Blair. Bobby, do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you now.
Perfect, Bobby, brother. What a run, what a race, man. Take us through the emotions that you're feeling right now as you're able to come down across the line, and I do believe this is your first HCK Beagles Truck Series win here. Bobby, take us through this one. What's going through your mind right now?
I didn't think we were going to get 1, 2, 3, and I just want to say thanks to 76 and the 459 for that one. I know in the restart we kind of took advantage of it, and then we got shuffled back with the run, and I didn't think we were going to get it, even have a chance at the end there, but thanks to them for telling me to go up high on team chat. So
Yeah, absolutely. That move to the outside lane down through 3 and 4 and being able to carry that run, even scrubbing the wall a little bit down across the line, man, was absolutely amazing to watch. It was awesome to see, and the run that you guys were able to build and have there at the end of this race really putting the staple on the season here, starting 2025 off on the right foot here as you guys come home 1, 2, and 3 here to start this, fifth race of our playoffs, but the first race of our 2025.
yeah, that was awesome. That was just a fun race, and the whole race I didn't even have a mic, so I was just switching my phone, driving one-handed for a little bit of it, trying to talk to everyone. So that was a little challenge in itself.
Yeah, definitely would be definitely tough not having those communications and everything else as easy as possible for you, knowing when or if your teammates are coming down pit side and you're trying to make those green flag pit stops that are oh so important here at Talladega. As a lot of these teams, there's only 3, 4, maybe 5 drivers that are normally coming down pit road at the same time. How did you really have to navigate those pit stops? Were you able to get into the Discord? Were you able to figure out when they were going to make those pit stops, or did you have to play a bit of a guessing game and just kind of follow what they were doing out of corner 4?
Yeah, I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. So
Well, good break there on that one. Just unfortunately not a lot of conversation for yourself, as that's always tough to do. It's tough to stay focused in a race, especially a long race at Talladega, and not really being able to voice your opinion or say anything or anything else, man. How did you really stay focused throughout this race, having those communication issues?
no, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, I could hear everyone, but they couldn't hear me. So the team was pretty good and relying messages, and I think overall everyone, not including the team, but everyone else had a really solid race too. It was pretty clean for the most part.
Yeah, a lot of good, clean, hard racing here, and a crazy finish has you coming across the line in position number 1. Bobby, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this afternoon and capturing the checkered flag here at Talladega Super Speedway?
Definitely the 76 and the 459. They made that last move at the end, and we took momentum and we got it. So
Absolutely. Well, Bobby, many more to come, and a great way to start this year off on the right foot. And hopefully we'll see you back up here in Victory Lane more and more here throughout the rest of this season and into our 7th season here at the HCK Beagles.
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up to Bobby Blair as Bobby picks up the checkered flag and pulls that 75 right up and into Victory Lane here at Talladega Super Speedway as we'll get ready to pull in our 3rd finisher here this afternoon, the 3rd driver to round out our podium here with the HP Motorsports crew. It's Ryan Peterson. Peterson coming home there in that 3rd position, finishing off the 1, 2, 3 finish here for the team this afternoon. Hey, Ryan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
I got you here, Aaron. What's going on?
Not much, Ryan, man. What a great run. What a crazy finish here, man. Take us through this race as we saw you guys kind of moving around the racetrack here quite a bit. We saw some of you guys in the HP Motorsports crew up towards the front. We saw some of you guys hanging out towards the back. And then all of a sudden, through some of those green flag pit stops and a couple of those late caution flags, you lose a couple of your teammates, but you find the other two in a quick hurry out there on that green-white checkered finish, and you're able to help push them across the line to win this race and to finish off a 1-2-3 finish here this afternoon.
Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't the plan to be up front most of the night. Just kind of hang back, see how it goes. Typical Talladega. Got to see where it goes, see where it leads you. My main game plan for the night was get to 76, 75 up front. They're in the hunt for that move on to the next playoff chase. So that was my whole game plan, was try to get one of our HP Motorsports vehicles up there in the top 5. So this win's definitely going to help us get that way.
Absolutely, definitely helps them out, especially coming on 1 and 2 and having you right there on their back bumper as a little bit of a bumper between some of those other playoff contenders here this afternoon. As Ryan, you're able to come home in that third position. You know, what was the excitement level like as you guys were rolling around the racetrack, realizing that you were able to finish, you know, this first race of 2025 with the HCK Beagles as a 1-2-3 finish for the first time with the HP Motorsports crew?
Oh man, being my first podium here with HCK in 2 seasons I've been here in the regular truck series, it was heart pumping in itself. But just seeing that third lane open up last second, I had Johnny screaming at me, "Go top, go high, go high!" I screamed at Bobby, "Go high, go high!" And I said, "I'm pushing you guys. I don't care. I'm pushing the pusher. We're gonna get you guys up through there." And we did. I didn't think I was gonna take third. I didn't really care, but I was able to clear the 41 and get down in front of him and be able to clear everybody else. Was just icing on the cake. It was a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Definitely a thing of beauty here this afternoon. Ryan, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here as you and the team come home 1, 2, and 3?
I want to thank KR Gutters being our secondary sponsor. They're always out there to help us out. Obviously, my co-owner of the team, Mr. Herbert, he's always there cheering us on. He's there every year, every month, every time, just pushing us to be the best we can be. And then HP Motorsports, just thanks all their drivers, man. Every week after week, they're out here kicking butt and having fun doing it. They make it so much more fun than being out here by yourself. Very enjoyable to have them by our sides.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, off to a hot start here in 2025. Hopefully more finishes just like this for not only yourself, but the team here in 2025 and throughout the rest of this season and leaning right on into Season 7 here with the HCK Beagles. Congratulations on that third place run. Congratulations on the 1-2-3 finish. And we can't wait to see you guys back out there trying to reenact this exact same finish next Tuesday.
I appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks to you too. Always put on a great show. Appreciate you every week, man.
I appreciate that, brother. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, giving up there for Ryan Peterson, our third place finish here as Ryan comes home in position number 3. A great run there as well for the 469 ride here this afternoon. As K-Dub, I'm not sure if you got something else you want to point out here this afternoon or not, or else we'll call it there on that note. I'm sure you may want to talk a little bit about Season 7 that's right around the corner. We brought it up a few times throughout this afternoon and allow people to get a good look there at the flyer and all the things to come here with the amazing HCK Beagles Truck Series.
Yeah, man, we're looking to start up season 7. I think the second weekend of March. We got to finish out this season. We got 3 races left to crown champion. We're on a quick turnaround for season 7. We got the schedule pretty much set. We got to make a few minor changes. I don't know if you post the Discord link or not in chat, but if anybody's interested, you know, under 4K rating, fixed setups, obviously broadcasted, good selection of tracks. We got road course, we got short tracks, super speedways, all that. Got a new playoff system that we're gonna try this year. It's 3 rounds, and then it's gonna have 3 races in each round. So it's gonna be 3, 3, and 3, and then it's gonna be I believe the top 16 will be the first round, then second round will be top 8, and then final 4 will battle it out. And then we also got some new stuff that we might try to incorporate if we get some sponsors. So if anybody out there watching wants to sponsor or help out the league in any way, we'd appreciate it. You can just message me or Aaron or any of the admins. We'd really greatly appreciate it and get your business some screen time. And obviously we put on a good show tonight. I mean, it was I think we had 3 cautions or something, so pretty good for Talladega. It's always chaotic at the end. That's what you're going to get. But we're we'll go on to Kentucky next week and see what we can do, and then see who makes the final 5 after that.
Absolutely. Next week, being an elimination race, 5 more drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs here with the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series, and we'll be down to 2 final races for our final 5 to duke it out. Going to be very, very exciting. We look forward to seeing how it all finishes out. But Kev, thanks for jumping in here and being with us here for the final laps there and throughout the interviews. And we can't wait to see you and all these drivers back out there on the racetrack next Tuesday.
No problem, man. As always, we appreciate your broadcast, and we'll catch you next week. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there. K-Dub in there with us as well. Mr. Winker coming in, showing the love there throughout the final bits of that race. Unfortunately, that will do it for us this afternoon. The racing action has come to a close. The craziness out there on the high banks of Talladega Super Speedway have come quiet here this afternoon, as unfortunately that will do it for us here this evening. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, though. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, every single person coming in showing the big love here this afternoon, and all of our star senders or any of the subscribers coming in over there on Facebook or Twitch and YouTube. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for tuning in and showing the love here this afternoon, and I can't wait to see you guys back in here tomorrow, as we'll be back live here on the channel. I don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow morning to afternoon, but we want to start getting in and actually getting kind of a schedule going and start doing some more daytime streams as well, whether or not it's more iRacing or potentially just some different random games, trying some different things out, see if we can try to have some fun here on the live streams as well as our broadcasts, as well as we will be back up here in the broadcast booth tomorrow night right around 8:30 Eastern time, again around the same time as we went live this afternoon, as the Hell Tour Season 2 race number 7, I do believe, in that series is gonna get underway tomorrow night, where we'll see the super late models duke it out tomorrow evening. Don't know the racetrack yet. They announced that about an hour beforehand, so we'll know where we're racing next week. But nonetheless, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be some great racing, and hopefully we see each and every one of you there cheering those drivers on, and see you guys in some of the other streams that we do here, not just iRacing, as well on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Beagles on the track, roaring engines never slack, racing on, no looking back, on for victory's knack. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight, asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race, feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight, asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race, feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste, feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream. This is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might. Push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight. Racing on with all our might.